Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well today. Yes, this is a great day. We're going to start it off with positive affirmations. Today is a great day. Today is going to be a great day. Despite what happened yesterday, today is going to be a good day. So that's how we're going to start off today. So good morning, everyone. I hope, well, first of all, thank you for tuning in to Empowering Others to Excel. I am your empowerment strategist, Jacqueline Jones. We are live on WMEG Radio, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you have not followed or subscribed yet to the YouTube channel or followed on Facebook and Instagram, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's get into this. I want to thank DJ Rock. Say good morning to DJ Rock. We will not be having call-ins this week, but we're going to work it out so that we can have our viewers call in if you want to chat with us. But today we will not be able to call in. I want to also let you know that I am a certified coach. I am not a therapist. I am here to uplift you, to empower you, to motivate you, to encourage you, to push you. That is what I am here to do. I am here for you to help you to set those actionable plans and strategies to make the best out of your life. So today we're going to get into our topic, what motivates you? What motivates you? Good morning, DJ Rock. Last week we talked about surviving and thriving. We had identified if you were a survivor and if you were a thriver and how you can move from being in the survivor position to the thriver position. Now, we know that everybody has their own battles. Everybody has faced their own battles. Some battles were seen by everyone, some were not seen. Some were some internal battles that you were just dealing with by yourself. But in the process of dealing with those battles, were you fighting them with the mindset that I'm just going to survive while in this situation? Or were you fighting that battle as I am thriving? That I am going to take what I learned from previous mistakes, previous experiences, and I'm going to make this situation better. I'm going to turn this situation around. So that was what last week's topic was about. If you want to go back and view that topic, it is on YouTube. It is on Facebook. It won't be on Facebook for long because they delete things, but it is on YouTube. So go and check out that topic, Survivor to Thriver, on YouTube. So today we're talking about what motivates you. What motivates you? What gets you out of the bed in the morning? When you're laying in that bed and you got to get up, what is it that gets you out of the bed in the morning? Is it the fact that you're about to be rewarded? You're getting a paycheck? Are you getting some recognition on that day? Or is it your own personal drive? So that's what we want to find out. What is it that motivates you? So right now, for those who are in the chat, those who are watching, go ahead. You can type in those things. What motivates you? Now, I want you to also think about this. Has anybody ever dared you to do something? I double dare you. I dare you do this. Go do this. And the question is, did you do the dare? Did you do the dare? Now, if you did the dare, that is intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation. And we're going to break down what is intrinsic motivation. And then I want you to think about, have you ever participated in something that a friend suggested because you wanted to? So, like, for example, your girls are going out. Hey, guess what? We going to girls' night tonight. Do you want to go? It's not like they are pressuring you into going. They're just asking you, hey, do you want to go? And you're sitting there, you're thinking to yourself, you know what? Do I want to go? And then you go, yeah, because you really want to go. Like, you know what? I need to take a break. I've been working hard. You know what? Yes, I want to go. I want to have some fun. And then if you're deciding that you want to go on your own cognition, that you want to go, that is extrinsic motivation. So yes, today we're going to be talking about intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. What is it? Why are we motivated in that way? And if we aren't motivated in one of the ways, we're going to talk about some different strategies that can help you learn to be motivated in an intrinsic, extrinsic way. So that is what our topic is for today. So we're going to start off with extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation. But before that, I'm going to talk about my motivation. Today, I had to get up early. Now, my kids started back to work. They started back to work. Lord, that'll be the day. They started back to school. 2 of them started back to school this week. So that means we're getting back up at 5:30 now. I don't normally have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. So, that is a stretch for me. So now we're back in the routine of getting up at 5:30 in the morning. And I got to sit there in the morning, and at 5:30 come, I bounce about the bed. I'm like, okay, let me get them ready. Got to do all the things to get them ready and get them to school on time. And so I had to stop and think, like, what is my motivation? Why am I doing this? So that was one thing that I thought about this week. And then also for today, I got up because after getting up at 5:30 Monday through Friday, today is that day I'm supposed to be like, oh, I get to relax. Yes, I get to lay in the bed. I get to sleep however long I want to. No, I still had to get up today. Why? Because I had to grace you off my presence. I had to be able to be here to be your accountability partner on today. So then I had to stop and think, so what is my motivation? Why is it that I chose to do this? So when I'm thinking about that, I'm like, okay, so am I getting some kind of reward or recognition out of this, or is this my own personal drive? And for getting up today, this is my own personal drive. This is something that I love to do. I enjoy doing this. So it's not like somebody had to press me to get out the bed. So nobody had to say, guess what? If you get out the bed and you go do this show today, you're going to get this. No, I have a love for this. So it was my own personal drive that allowed me to do this. So this is something that I wanted to do for myself. And now I got to go back and switch things up. I just realized I gave y'all the wrong examples. When I said when somebody dared you, that's extrinsic, meaning it's external influences. And then if you are doing something because you want to, that's intrinsic, that's internal influences. So please forgive me. I just realized I messed that up. Okay, so now we're going to talk about extrinsic motivation. When it's extrinsic motivation, like I already said, it's external. That means you're getting some rewards, you're getting some kind of recognition, or it might be pressure, peer pressure, whatever kind of pressure it is. But when it's extrinsic motivation, it's external, it's outside of you. So it's outside rewards and pressures. For example, money, grades, praise, avoiding punishment. The pros for extrinsic motivation gets you started and it provides directions. So when I talk about the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation, I don't want you to sit and think, oh my goodness, it's bad to have one or the other. No, you just need to have a balance. There needs to be a balance because we already stated pros for extrinsic gets you started, provides direction. So that's, for example, if you have children and you told your child that if they get all A's, they will get this. That is extrinsic motivation. It's external. They're not doing it because they want to. They're doing it for the reward that they're going to get. So that is why it's extrinsic motivation. But is that a bad thing? No. Because if you know your children and you know you have a child that you have to push and prod to get them to do things, and you realize that rewarding them allows them to get things done, not just done quickly, but it allows them to get things done successfully, then guess what? That is what you have to do until that child learns that, oh, I need to do this for me. So this can be a starting point for some people. Yes, they start out doing it because of the rewards, but then they eventually learn like there are some great things that come from this. That's just like somebody who decides that they want to go and work out. Extrinsic motivation, they're doing it for the rewards. Like, oh, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to get this together, I'm going to lose some weight, I'm going to, so I can look good in the face, my face getting thin out, so I can lose the flab under my arms. They doing all of that. They're getting the reward. The reward is how they want them their sums to look. But then once they continue to work out and they realize, oh my goodness, I'm feeling better. Like my attitude, my mood has changed. Like, wait a minute, I don't have to be on my blood pressure pills anymore. Like, hold up now, my feet not swelling like they normally do. And they start to realize, like, oh, it's something about this exercise. It's not just for thinning out the face and making me look cute in the waist. Oh, but no, it's so many more benefits. Then they're going to stop and go, wait a minute. I'm doing this for me now. So before they were just doing it for the rewards, but now it's an internal thing. They are realizing how it's making them feel on the outside, regardless of what they're looking like on the outside. I'm sorry, I did it again. They're realizing how they feel on the inside, regardless of how they look on the outside. The inside, they're starting to feel really good. So now it's become intrinsic motivation. So now they don't have to push themselves to get up and go work out, whatever it is that they're doing, because now they're like, oh, I already know I need this extra endorphins. I need my mindset to change. I need my mood to be shifted. So let me go out here and do what I do to make me feel better. So that is what extrinsic motivation is and intrinsic motivation. So once again, examples of extrinsic motivation, a reward system. Okay, let's get together today. A reward system. It could be money, grades, praise, or avoiding punishment. Pros, gets you started and it provides directions. And cons, it may fade when reward or pressure is gone. And that's what I stated. After a while, it's like, I don't want to do it anymore. But once it switches over to the intrinsic, internal, you're gaining something in it for yourself. And you're realizing, oh, this is benefiting me. So it's leaving from the extrinsic to the intrinsic. But everybody doesn't have that shift. Some people, they actually stop doing things once the reward or the pressure is gone. So for example, if you have a trainer going to the gym and that trainer is on you, and you're like, all right, I gotta do this. But then all of a sudden your trainer gets sick. Let's just say all of a sudden your trainer gets sick. You at the gym, your trainer gets sick and they call you, hey, I'm not going to be able to come in for a little bit because I'm sick. And you're like, oh, okay, I got this. No problem. Everything you told me, I'm going to go in this gym and I'm going to do this thing. And you go in there. And the first day you go in there about the train, it's still good because you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. You can hear him in your ear. You can hear her in your ear telling you what you got to do. You're like, yeah. But then after maybe like week 2, trainer not being there, you're like, you know what? This is not enjoyable anymore. Like, I don't have that person pushing me. I don't have that person prodding me anymore. So now it's like, do I really want to do this? So now that extrinsic motivation is starting to fade. Because you're not getting that praise for doing your 25 push-ups. You're not getting that push and that prod. So if it has not hit you internally yet that, oh, I need this for me, guess what? What's going to happen? You're going to fall off and you're going to stop going to the gym. You're going to stop working out. And then when your trainer gets back on their feet and they're going to be calling you like, hey, I'm right. You're going to be like, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to do this anymore. And so that's what you have to realize, the difference between intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Hey, Juanita. Yes, Juanita said she loves the intrinsic rewards. They are the best. Yes, once you realize it's for you, you identify the benefits of it. It's like right on. Like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this thing now. Yes, the extrinsic, they fade after a while. But intrinsic, yes, you hold on to those. Now, I'm going to talk about the different type of people who live basically in the extrinsic motivation world. Now, you can go back and forth, but there are some people who they do their best work because they're motivated. So they're getting some kind of reward. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with that. So I need to make that clear. I am not saying that anything is wrong with that if you are an extrinsic motivational person. Nothing is wrong with that, but you're still missing out on some things. So I'm going to identify people who focus on external motivation. We have the people pleasers. Their motivational source. They are seeking approval, praise, and acceptance from others. Approval, praise, and acceptance. And yes, every once in a while, yes, we want to know that we are accepted. We want to know that we're doing a great job. Yes, but if you're the type of person that you need somebody to tell you every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, yes, you're doing a good job. Yes, oh my goodness, that is awesome. Yes, can you send that to me? Then I need you to think about it, because your self-worth is not where it should be. Because you should not need somebody to approve you daily. You should not need anybody to approve you daily. You should be able to approve yourself. You should be able to affirm yourself and say, I know I got this. I can accomplish this. I can do this. So I want you to think about that. So now, why do the people pleasers need that external? It's often rooted in fear or rejection or low self-worth. See? Fear, rejection, or low self-worth. Now, the risk of being a people pleaser, you get burnt out. You might start forming resentment and losing a sense of identity. Now, just think about it. If you are that type of person, or you were that type of person where you felt as though you had to please everybody, think about your circle of friends, Because we know we have that group of friends and they all have their own different uniqueness they bring to the group. But think about it. If you're that one person in that group and you're trying to please all of them, this person, maybe their rent's due and they can't do it. So now you sending them money because their rent's due. You have another person who needs constant encouragement because of things that are going on in their life. So you're trying to give them constant encouragement. You're checking on them every hour. You're sending them cute pictures like, hey, you got this. But you're doing it all the time. So you got the person that you're paying their rent. You got the person that you're sitting and constantly encouraging them. Then you got the person who was always asking you, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? And you like, yeah, what time? And you're writing it down. Okay, so I got to go here at this time. I got to be here with her at this time. Then you got that other friend who just needs you to continue to console them because they're always making bad choices. So you always got to be like, girl or guy, it's all right. It's going to be okay. Just think about that. You got your group of friends. So you're doing all of this for them. You're trying to make sure that they're okay. You're pleasing them. After a while, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get burnt out. Why? Because you're giving. They're taking. And what is getting put back on you? Are they pouring back into you in any shape or form? And most of the time it's no. Because when your friends know that you are the people pleaser, they take advantage of it. But in their mind, they're not taking advantage of it. They're saying you're such a good friend because that's what they know you for. They know you because you're going to always come to their rescue. They call you, girl, I got you. Say less. So they already know that's you are that person. You are their go-to person. So you're burning yourself out trying to be there for everybody else, and nobody's pouring back into you. So that is a risk of being a people pleaser. Juanita said, I feel exhausted just thinking about it. Yes. I was talking about, I'm like, good Lord. Like, yes, it's exhausting. It is exhausting. And then the next person is the achievement chaser. Their motivation is getting awards, recognition, status, promotion, or money. So they're the type of person, they want to keep climbing the ranks. So if you're working in the business world, corporate world, and they always have, well, if you get this or that, you'll get this promotion. We're going to get somebody to corner office. You're moving out of the cubicle and you're going to get this. You're going to get your name plastered on the wall, employee of the month. You're going to get this. And you got that one person who's aiming for that every single time. I'm going to do that. Oh, what I got to do? I'm going to do this. So you sitting here working hard, working more than you need to be, working over the hours that you're supposed to be doing. Why? Because you are chasing this achievement. Because that is what motivates you. You're chasing that achievement. You want that award. You want that recognition, the status, fame, promotion, whatever comes with it. You want it. Now, why is this happening? They equate success with external markers of value. So that is their way of feeling valued. Once they get that award, with the award might say best programmer. And they got that award and they cheesing, yeah, I got my award. They value me. They value me. And then next week they get replaced by somebody else. So did they really value you? No, they didn't value you. They glad that you did all that extra work. And at that moment, it was like, good job, good job. But when somebody came in with more, they were more qualified for that position, they just moved you right on out the way. So you need to stop and think about those things. And then the risk of this, the risk of being an achievement chaser, you may achieve a lot, but feel empty or feel void inside, like something's missing. So you're sitting there and you're the type of person like, I got this award. I got this award. You're on the back of your wall, you got trophies lined up, you got plaques, you got this, but then you still sitting there looking like something's missing. And you try to figure out like what's missing. I've accomplished so much in my life, but something's missing. So that is the risk of being an achievement chaser, because you're trying to place your value based on what other people say you are, instead of you trying to look inside yourself and actually find out what is your value, what is your worth. So yeah, I want you to think about that. Then the next one we have the fear-driven worker. Fear-driven worker. This person is going to work. They're going to bust their butt every day. They're going to do what it is that they got to do. But why are they doing it? Because they're trying to avoid punishment. They're trying to avoid criticism, and they're trying to avoid failure. So the fear-driven worker is trying to avoid the failure, criticism, and punishment. Now, why? It might be due to past experiences. Somebody judged them harshly, high pressure. But all of these things actually create this individual to be a fear-driven worker. And now the risk of being a fear-driven worker, constant stress. And you're like, constant stress, yes, because you're trying to make sure you're doing everything perfectly. They said they wanted A, B, and C done by this time. You're like, oh, I got to get this done. I got to get it the way they want it, because I want them to come back and just say, well done. I don't want them to come back and say, I need you to fix this because you didn't do it the way I wanted you to. I need this to look like this, but you made it look like this. No, they are constantly stressed. They have high anxiety, and then it's the inability to enjoy the process. Whatever you do, you need to be doing it with some kind of joy and happiness. Whatever it is that you're doing, do it with some kind of joy and happiness. Even if you're going outside to take a walk, you shouldn't be outside. Oh, I'm going to take a walk. Let me go take this walk. I don't feel like taking this walk, but I'm going to take this walk. No, it needs to be like, oh, I'm going to take this walk. I'm going to breathe in this fresh air. I'm going to thank the Lord because I got the activities of my limb. I know I need this walk, and it's going to just revive me and it's going to refresh me. So whatever you are doing, you need to be doing it with some kind of joy. You need to be able to enjoy what it is that you're doing. But a fear-driven worker, no. They don't want the punishment. They don't want the criticism. They don't want the judgment. They don't want the shame, the guilt, the fact. They don't want any of that. So they're going to sit there and they're going to get the job done to the best of their ability just to make sure you're not coming back and saying, I need this fix. So that is a fear-driven worker. We got two more. The comparison seeker. Now, this right here will just exhaust you alone. Comparison seeker. They measure themselves against their peers. They want to keep up, like keeping up with the Joneses. That term right there. Because you're going to do everything that you need to do to keep up with these. Back then, it's supposed to be like the rich and famous, the high and snooty, the uppity people. But you don't know what that individual had to go through to get to where they were. All you see is the glitz and the glam. And you're like, I want this. So I'm going to sit here and try to keep up with them, but you don't know what they had to do. They might have had to sell their soul to get what they wanted. Is that what you want for yourself? I hope not. So we need to stop doing this comparison thing when we compare ourselves to others. We need to understand that we are unique. We have our own individual gifts. We have our own individual talents. And if it's something that we are lacking, we can find different tools and use different strategies to build ourselves up. But we do not need to sit there and compare ourselves. We don't need to compare ourselves because nobody is the same. Nobody walking this earth is the same. They might be identical twins, but guess what? They're still different. There's two different human beings. So we need to learn to stop comparing ourselves. We need to learn to love ourselves for whatever we have, flaws and all. We need to love ourselves and continue to work on ourselves to make ourselves better. Now, why do people compare? It's either for strong external focus on competition or social image. Lips need to get together again. Social image. And the risk of comparing, envy, dissatisfaction, and never feeling enough. And that is what, especially with social media nowadays, people are looking at other people's lives and what they're showing on the camera. And it's like, oh, I want that. I want what they had, but you don't know what they had to go through to get that. And I do like that now. Sometimes when I look at social media, there are people who show the ugly side of it as well. They show that they're suffering with depression and what they're going through to try to get themselves out of depression. They show that they're dealing with anxiety. They show that they're not the perfect mom and their house is a mess. And then they show what it takes for them to get in front of the camera, like everything they got to do to get in front of the camera to be presentable for everyone else. So I want you all to think about that. You do not need to compare yourself. You don't need to be like anybody else. Be you. Be you. And if it's something that you don't like about yourself, identify what those things are and then put an action plan in place to better yourselves. But don't sit here and look at somebody else and say, you know what, I want to be like them. No, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I'm going to help you out right now. Don't do it to yourself. And if you are doing it, stop doing it. You are great just the way you are. And if there are things you don't like, you work on yourself. Now, the last type of person is the conditional self-worth thinker. This motivational source is feeling worthy only when others validate them. So this is the type of person, they're sitting there, they're going through their daily routine, but it's not until somebody else say, oh my goodness, you look good today, that all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I do look good today. Thank you for that. But before that, all day long, they probably like, I look a hot mess. But when one person tells them they look good today, all of a sudden it's, oh, I look good today. And then you're brain somewhere, they looking like, hello, I've been trying to tell you that all day long. But you're like, no. But that one person said it, and you value what that one person say. So now all of a sudden you look good today. So that is basically saying that your self-worth and what you think of yourself is very low because you need somebody else to validate you. For example, if you're a teacher, you're in the classroom, you're teaching, your kids are passing all of their tests, your kids are mastering the skill, but you are sitting there and saying that I'm not good at this, I'm not good at this. But when the principal comes in and say, you are so good at this, and now it's like, oh. So that, what does that tell you? You think less of yourself than you should be. Now, why is this? That's because belief that respect must be earned. They feel as though everything must be earned. And the risk for this is loss of self-esteem with external validation is missing. So I want you all to think about these different types that I have mentioned. We have the conditional self-worth thinker, the comparison seeker, the fear-driven worker, the achievement chaser, and then the people pleaser. Once again, what do all of these individuals have in common? They are externally motivated. They are externally motivated, meaning they're motivated by praise, recognition, awards, status, promotion, money, fear of punishment, fear of criticism, fear of failure. These are the type of individuals who are motivated by that. Now, external motivation isn't bad. It can push you forward. I want you to remember, I said it before. If you're externally motivated, it's not a bad thing, but eventually it may wear off. And then once it wears off, you're like, what now? So external motivation isn't bad. It can push you forward. But it will leave people burnt out, unfulfilled, and chasing approval. Be able to learn to balance external with intrinsic. You need to be able to balance the external with intrinsic. Now, I'm going to give you a few steps on how you can start building a healthy balance. I'm going to give you a few steps, and then we're going to move on to intrinsic. First one is pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And I want you to think about it. When you ask yourself, why am I doing this? If your answer is always tied to something external, it's always tied to somebody's approval, if it's always tied to a reward that you are getting, that needs you to stop and think. How do you value yourself? I want you to dig a little bit deeper. Identify your values. And then I want you to try to move forward from there, because you should not always be based on what other people want you to do, other people's approval, what they say. The next one is connect actions to values. Connect actions to values. Try linking external goals to internal meanings. And when I say this, I mean, instead of I want a promotion for the raise, reframe. We already went through a whole bunch of free reframe sessions. So if you need to learn more about reframing, go back and watch some of the previous videos. We talked about how to reframe a positive into a negative. So it is there for you. So I want you to reframe it. I want a position for this raise. I want a promotion for the raise. Instead, I want a promotion because I value growth and making an impact. You're not just doing all of this hard work for a promotion to get them. You're doing it because you value what it is that you're doing. You value the growth and what you're learning in the process. And you value that you're making an impact in the company and somebody else's life, wherever it may be. So reframe it from just making it seem as though it's an external motivation and make it into an intrinsic motivation. Yeah, I want that promotion, but with the promotion, I am going to, what are you going to gain from it? So I want you to think about it in that way. The next one, that strategy that you can use, experiment with joy-driven activities. Joy, and see, when you say the word joy, it's like you can't help but to be like, yes, because when you enjoy, that means you're happy. You're happy, and everybody should be happy. So experiment with joy-driven activities. Add activities to your daily schedule that you like. It could be a hobby, learning something, creative outlet. Add it to your schedule somewhere. And it's just because. So if you're out doing something, I'm going to do this just because. Do add on those joy-driven activities. And when you do that, you're saying you value yourself. So it's not anybody else saying, oh my goodness, girl, you need your nails done. I can say that right now because look at these. They not done. And so they could be like, you need your nails done. You know, your nails not done. Excuse me. I'm going to get my nails done when I feel like getting my nails done. My nails being done does not validate that I am pretty. I'm pretty regardless, without the nails or with the nails done. The day just had to be a day that I don't have them done. But guess what? I'm pretty. I'm pretty. So you're validating yourself, your self-worth. You're not doing things just because somebody else says that you have to, because they're trying to give you that push to do it. So I want you to think about that. Next, we have set self-defined goals. Set self-defined goals. Create dependent on others' recognition. I will run 3 miles to feel strong instead of I'm going to run 3 miles because I want to look good to other people. So do that. Self-defined goals. And then the last one is practice self-compassion. Practice self-compassion. Give yourself credit. Give yourself credit. Encourage yourself instead of waiting for somebody else to encourage you. Instead of waiting for somebody else to give you a round of applause. Applaud yourself. You did great today. That presentation, you did that. You did that. I'm so proud of you today. You stuck to your schedule. Give yourself that self-compassion that you need. Because sometimes people always sit and they be waiting for somebody else to lift them up. They're waiting for somebody else to encourage them. And the thing is, it don't come sometimes. But you can sit there and you can encourage yourself. You can speak life into yourself and you can pour into yourself to raise you up from a situation. But because you're waiting for somebody else to do it, you stay in situations longer than you have to. You stay in that funk longer than you have to because you're woe with me. Woe is me. Nobody loves me. They don't care. But do you care about yourself? Do you love yourself? So that means shake yourself loose. That song just came in my head, so I had to throw it out there. So yes, you need to shake yourself out of that rut that you're in. You need to love on yourself, pour into yourself. So yes, practice self-compassion. So now I hope you are gaining something out of this. We just finished talking about external motivation. And now we're going to move on to the internal motivation. Internal, intrinsic motivation. Now, what is intrinsic motivation? What is intrinsic motivation? Okay, first, before we do that, we have Nicole. Nicole says, getting a pedicure and my nails done brings me joy. It's a time that someone takes care of my needs. See, you're doing it for you. So, yes, that is great. That is great. Now, if you're doing it because somebody else say you got to do it to be this put together woman, then no, that is external. You're doing it for you. So that is your intrinsic motivation. You are taking on self-care. So yes, I love that. I love that. So now for intrinsic motivation, this is internal satisfaction. Internal satisfaction. That means it could be somebody reading for joy. Not because they have an assignment due, not because they want to learn something, but for those individuals who just sit and read for joy. And I say kudos to you. Kudos to you. Because I was raised in a house of readers and they just loved. I am not one of those individuals. But they would get a book and curl up in their corner and just go for it. I'm like, wow. Like they enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. So kudos to you, reading for joy. My daughter's like that. My oldest daughter, she loves to read. She has a little book nook. She sits in it. She's wrapped up. She's reading. She enjoys it. And I am so happy for her. So you have to find out what is your creative outlet. So reading for joy, creating art, exercising for health. It is your internal satisfaction. Your internal satisfaction. So now the pros of this, it fuels long-term commitment and deeper fulfillment. Fuels long-term commitment and deeper fulfillment. Now remember the pro for external motivation. It was to get you started. So it was jumping you. It was getting you started, but it didn't say that it was going to last. So it's just something that jump starts you and gets you started. So that's like, for example, when I just said that, it made me think about when somebody has to receive, I don't even know what it's called, but they go clear and they jumpstart the heart. Yeah. So that is what the external motivation is. It's jump starting you. But internally, that heart has to keep beating on its own for that person to live. So that is what I want you to think of. So external is jump starting. Intrinsic motivation is going to fuel you. So it's going to keep you going. It's going to last for a while. Now, the cons about intrinsic motivation, it's hard when tired or discouraged. It's harder to spark when tired or discouraged. And this is when you need to find that balance. This is when you need to find that balance between the external and the internal. Because now, hard to spark when tired or discouraged. But if somebody gives you some type of motivation and it gets that spark, it jumpstarts you. And then after you're jump started, it turns into an intrinsic motivation. Then you have that fuel to carry you on as you go. So that is what I'm talking about. You need to be able to have that balance. Yep, it might have started out by, I got this instant reward. But you need to be able to have that fuel to keep it going. And that is when it turns into motivation. Now, we talked about the different type of people for external motivation. Now we're going to talk about the type of people for intrinsic motivation. These individuals are self-satisfied. So whatever it is that they're doing it because it satisfies them in some way. So first we have the passion-driven learner. Passion-driven learner. Their main source is curiosity, love of learning, and exploring new ideas. Their strengths, they are naturally creative, resilient when facing challenges. That means they are able to bounce back and willing to put in effort for growth. Now, the risk is they may struggle in structured systems like jobs or schools that emphasize external rewards, grades, money, and promotion. But I want you to think about that. You have the passion-driven learner. They're doing this because this is something that they love to do. They want to be able to see growth. They want to receive the growth from it. They want to be able to make an impact. So they want to do this, and their sources, they're curious about it. They have a love for learning, exploring new ideas. Now, they are naturally creative and bounce back from situations or challenges. They're willing to put in that effort to risk. They may struggle in structured systems that emphasize external reward. And as I'm saying this, I'm like, I can see this as partly true, because for me, when I was teaching in the classroom, it was my passion that drove me every day to come to school every day. Because if you don't have a passion to be in there educating those little individuals, you're not going to last. So I had a passion for educating them. I had a passion for seeing how when they learn something, their eyes get bigger. They have those aha moments. I like watching the children grow from one level to another and just being able to impart into them. I loved doing that. So I had a passion for education. I still do. I still have a passion for education. Naturally creative, yes. Resilient when facing challenges. I had to learn it, but yes, I am able to bounce back. Sometimes I question it, like, what in the world? But I am able to face those challenges and bounce back. I'm willing to put in the effort. Yes, I am willing to put in the effort. That is just like for the business side, for teacher my mommy teacher. I will create new things. I will put in the effort. I am willing to go out there and to make those things happen. Why? Because I want to see that impact. I want to see that impact that's going to go forth from the things that I create. Now, this is the part that I'm like, may struggle in a structured system that emphasizes external rewards, grades, money, or promotion. I wouldn't say that I struggled in the structured system, but I did give some kickback as far as the different academic standards or rigor or structure or curriculum that they wanted to see inside of the classroom. I did do that because my whole goal is I'm here, I'm supposed to be educating them. But what you are telling me to do is not educate them, especially at one point when it turned into the whole, they just got to pass the test. So we're teaching them just to the test. No. I need my kids in my class to know more than just what is going to be asked of them on the test. So I was that teacher. I gave kickback, like, but that's not making sense. Like they hated to see me coming when I had my questions. Because I'm like, who is this really benefiting here? So yeah, so that was my struggle with that. Because I wanted to see them thrive. I wanted to see them grow. I wanted them to move beyond. So once they left me, they'll be able to go to the next grade and they can just do great things. That was me. Yes, I was that passion-driven learner. Next is the purpose seeker. Purpose seeker. Remember, we're talking about intrinsic motivation. So the individuals that I'm talking about right now, they are intrinsically motivated. We have the purpose seeker, a strong sense of mission or personal values. Their strengths, they're deeply committed, available to overcome obstacles because their why is strong. Now, when you say their why, this is what I mean by the why. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So that's one of those things you just need to always keep with you when you're about to do something. Why am I doing this? Is this something that's bringing value to my life? Is it adding value to me? Is it adding self-worth to me? Why am I doing this? Is it something that's going to uplift, something that's going to motivate me, push me forward, something that's going to allow me to grow? Why am I doing this? Or am I just doing this to please others? Am I doing this just to show people what I have? You got to think about that. You're a why. But now, also there is a risk with this for purpose seekers. They may ignore practical needs. financial stability, recognition, or becoming overly idealistic. So you have to just make sure you have the balance. You need the balance. Everything in life, there needs to be a balance. Needs to be a balance. The next type of intrinsic person is the autonomy lover. The autonomy lover. Their motivational source is freedom, independence, and choice in what they do. Freedom, independence, choice in what they do. Strengths, they thrive in self-directed environments, great at innovation and problem solving. But the risk, they can resist authority or struggle with tasks that feel externally imposed. So that is an autonomy lover. So an autonomy lover might be a good person to have their own, they be self-employed because they can do what they want and not have that kickback unless they have a board over them and they still have to respond to the board. The next person is the mastery builder. Their motivation, the joy of developing skills, improving and becoming better. Mastery builder. That means they're building. They're starting with the foundation and they're moving up. Their strengths, they are persistent, hardworking, focused on personal growth. And the risk may obsess over improvement to point out perfection or frustration when growth feels slow. So now, if you're listening to what I'm saying, I want you to think back when I said intrinsic and external motivation. There's not a good and a bad, but there needs to be a balance. Because even though intrinsic people, you are dealing with things internally, you're finding your self-worth inside of it. You have your values and everything aligned, but there are still risks. So I need you to understand that there are still risks. So you have to have that what? Balance. Has to have the balance. And then the last person is the flow seeker. Flow seeker. Their motivational source is getting into the flow state, defocus and enjoyment in an activity. Strengths, highly engaged, productive, and fulfilled in their work. Risk, can lose track of time, neglect responsibility, and disengage from tasks they don't enjoy. So that's like when people say, I got in the zone. I'm in the zone. But sometimes when you get in that zone, you zone out. And when you zone out, you don't realize what is going on around you. So in the process of you zoning out, you might be doing something which was supposed to take you 10, 15 minutes, and now it's an hour later, you're still doing it. So the risk is losing track of time. You're neglecting all the other duties and responsibilities that you were supposed to be doing. So I want you to think about that. So for intrinsic motivators, we have the flow seeker, the mastery builder, the autonomy lover, the purpose seeker, and then the passion-driven learner. Now, being intrinsically motivated is powerful. It is powerful because it means you naturally act from passion, purpose, curiosity, and fulfillment. And in order for you to act from passion, purpose, curiosity, and fulfillment, that means you have to be self-aware. You have to know your desires, your wants, and your needs. So that is great. That is great. That's why it is powerful. But there can be blind spots. There can be blind spots. Remember, you have to do what? Say it with me now. Balance it out. Balance it out. Now, these are different strategies on how you can balance it out. Learn to value external rewards without depending on them. Learn to value external rewards without depending on them. So remember, the external rewards can jumpstart you, but the intrinsic rewards will fuel you and keep you going. So that's what we want you to do for that one. So reframe external motivators. So instead of saying you're selling out, no, this paycheck fuels my freedom to keep pursuing my passion. Because some people are like, I'm not going to go to work. I'm not going to go to work. Now, I can give you a prime example of this right now, but I don't think I'm selling out. For those who know me, I have 3 businesses. Yes, I have 3 businesses. I have Blessed Publications. I have Empowering Others to Excel. And then I have Teacher Mommy Teacher. And I have been working those businesses for the past, let's see, I left teaching in 2017. I left teaching in 2017 or 2018, and I started my businesses in 2019. So I have been working the businesses. They weren't, when you first start a business, you're learning the ins and outs and everything. My businesses, I'm going to say, have not been profitable until the past 3 years. They have become profitable. But now, and also in the process, yes, they are profitable, and I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying the growth. I'm enjoying the momentum of the business. I'm enjoying learning the ins and out of the business. But in the process of me leaving teaching in 2017 and 18 and me starting my business 2019, I have children, and my children are growing and getting older. And now my children are in school, and they're in private school. And we know private school is not free education. You got to pay for that. So now my husband and I, we are balancing out these bills. And we're like, oh, you know what? We need a little bit of extra income coming in because private school is not cheap. So now in the process of me working my businesses, I put in some job applications to work inside of the school system again, but not as a teacher. I love teaching, but I'm not trying to go back as a teacher. But that's just to supplement some of the income so that way we can still have money to pay the kids' tuition and do other things that we want to do. So no, I'm not saying that I am ending my businesses. That is not what's happening at all, because the jobs that I put in for were like part-time jobs. So we're just doing that to supplement. So for other people who be like, "Ooh, I don't want to take on this," you're not selling out. You're not selling out. You're reframing that. This paycheck fuels my freedom to keep pursuing my passion. So I hope this helps somebody. So I'm not sitting here going, and see, I had to get this mindset, because if I would have tried to do this a couple years ago, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm just defeated. I'm worthless. I couldn't even keep my business. That's not what happened here. I got my businesses. They're thriving, money's coming in, but I also need extra money to offset. So I'm not selling out to my businesses, my hopes, my dreams, my aspiration. I'm not selling out to any of that. I am getting an additional paycheck to fuel my passion and to help my babies. So that's what I'm doing. So you have to learn to value external rewards without depending on them. The next step, set tangible goals alongside passion projects. So intrinsic people often love the journey, but not finishing them. Intrinsic people often love the journey, but may not finish things. Write clear milestones with accountability measures. Example, by next month, I will complete 1 chapter of my book and share it with my peers. That is how you can set tangible goals. Third step, embrace accountability partners. We talk about this all the time. You need those accountability partners. Surround yourself with others who can gently remind you of deadlines, commitments, and practical needs. External accountability doesn't kill your intrinsic drive. No, it does not. It helps channel it to your results. So I want you to keep that in mind. Balance passions with practical needs. That's 4. Balance practice with passion. Balance passion with practical needs. Think, how can my passions also serve me in real life? 5, celebrate achievements publicly. You may not need applause, but recognition helps others see your value and can open doors. So yeah, some people say you keep it to yourself. You work hard, keep it to yourself. But eventually, when that achievement happens, you can work hard while you're building it up. But once it happens, put it out there. Allow people to applaud you, because in the process, they see your value, they see your worth. And then somebody might come and say, hey, I noticed you did this. Can you come and do this for a cost? For a cost. Not handout to you, for a cost. Okay? Next one. I think this is the last one. Check for burnout from over passion. Check from burnout for over passion. Intrinsically motivated people sometimes overwork because they love it. Ignoring rest and balance. I love this. No, I'm okay. This is what I do. I got this. Yes, sure. I can help you. I love this. Avoid the burnout. Check in on yourself. Hey, how am I doing? Check in. Ask yourself, am I working because I love this, or am I overdoing it because I can't stop? So check for burnout over passion. Now, I want you to think about this. I said it once before. Extrinsic is the spark plug. Intrinsic is the engine. So you need that spark for the engine to work. You need the spark for the engine to work. Now, this is your homework, your reflection. Homework, reflection. Write down 3 things you're motivated to do right now. Write down 3 things you're motivated to do right now. And then for each answer, I want you to write, what's motivating me? Is it an extrinsic or is it an intrinsic? What's motivating me? Is it an extrinsic or is it an intrinsic? How does this motivation affect my energy and commitment? How does this motivation affect my energy and commitment? And then lastly, how could I add more intrinsic motivation to this activity? So once again, write down 3 things you're motivated to do right now. And then for the answers, what's motivating me? Is it extrinsic motivation or is it intrinsic motivation? And I want you to actually write out what it is. So don't just write extrinsic, intrinsic. No, write out what it is. So if you're getting a reward, if you're getting a fee, you're getting praise, whatever it is, write it out. And then from there, identify if it's extrinsic or intrinsic. And then how does this motivation affect my energy and my commitment? So am I going to have high energy, low energy? Am I going to be fully committed? Am I going to be committed for just that first portion? And then after that, I'm just going to fade away into the background. How does this motivation affect my energy and commitment? And then lastly, how could I add more intrinsic motivation to this activity? How can I add more intrinsic? So that means if you're adding more, it's about you. It's internal. So that means you're adding things in that relates to your value, your self-worth. So I want you to think about those things and I want you to work on those things. Now for our recap, motivation is not good or bad. Extrinsic gets us moving. Intrinsic keeps us going. People are driven by 2 engines, one that pushes from the outside and one that pulls from the inside. The stronger the inside engine, the further you will go. So I hope that you all have learned something from this session. I hope that the tips, the strategies will be put in place, that you will implement them, that you will continue to grow. Remember, I am your empowerment strategist. I am here to push you. I am here to encourage you, to uplift you. I am here to be your accountability partner. So I thank you all for tuning in today. Once again, if you have not liked, subscribed, or followed to the YouTube page or the Empowering Others to Excel, and you are a WMEG listener, please come on over to this side and like and follow along with us. Talk to me in the chats. I enjoy it. For more information about empowering others to excel, you can visit my website, www.eoechangeagent.com. You can look and see all the different services that I offer, and I offer independent sessions as well as group workshops. So once again, I thank you all for tuning into this session. What is motivation? What is motivation? And up next for my WMEG listeners, we have the pros and cons of human nature with your host, Nikki. I want you all to enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. Think about what's motivating you today, the things that you are doing. What's motivating you? Is it intrinsic or is it extrinsic? And y'all be great today.
Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job.